Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're digging into a really fascinating, maybe even a bit radical perspective on the universe. It comes from a source you shared with us called "We're Not Here to Survive the Universe, We're Here to Take Over Its Rhythm." Quite a title. So, our goal here is to really unpack this theory. It suggests our whole purpose might be, well, bigger than just sticking around, a much more active role in how reality itself works. And the core idea, which really grabs you, is this. What if the universe isn't fundamentally stable? And what if intelligence isn't just some cosmic accident, but actually the universe's own safety valve?
That's pretty much the heart of what this source calls motion theory. It's a framework, you see. It suggests looking at the universe less as just stuff, and more as this dynamic system, built on loops of structured motion under tension.
Loops of motion, like orbits, or something more fundamental.
Yeah, think orbits, think particle spins, think galactic rotations, all scales. It's like this huge, intricate dance, a cosmic choreography. From the very start, the first stars forming, these loops were key. But here's the crucial bit. When these loops get out of sync, desynchronized.
Things go wrong.
Exactly. That's when you get the big chaotic events. Supernovae, black holes, galaxies crashing into each other. The theory posits these aren't just random disasters. They're the result of the rhythm breaking down. A fundamental problem.
Okay, so the universe is inherently a bit wobbly, on the edge.
That's what the source suggests, yeah. It calls the universe a loop on the edge, constantly teetering.
And this theory says we're not just supposed to, duck and cover when things go boom?
No, quite the opposite.
Yeah.
It suggests we're not here just to survive the chaos. We're here to learn how to conduct it.
Conduct it, like an orchestra.
In a way, yes. Because the source points out something important. Nature doesn't seem to have its own built-in fail-safe. There's no automatic cosmic tuner keeping everything in line.
No galactic tuning fork, as it says.
Right. So that role, that conductor role, might be vacant, waiting for intelligence, perhaps like ours, to step up.
Wow. Okay, that definitely reframes things. So what does that mean for intelligence itself? How does this theory define it?
It's a pretty radical shift from how we usually think about it.
Yeah.
Through this motion theory lens, intelligence isn't mainly about, say, logic or memory or calculation.
Not about being clever in the usual sense?
Not primarily. It's specifically about the ability to recognize motion patterns and then, crucially, to stabilize them. The source gives examples. Think about the first stable atoms forming. That wasn't just random clumping. It was the universe finding a stable loop, electrons around a nucleus, stopping pure energy chaos.
Okay.
Then cells emerging. They developed these complex feedback loops inside them, didn't they? To sense changes, counteract disruptions, stabilizing their own internal motion to survive.
Right, homeostasis and all that.
Exactly. And then humans arrive. And that loop somehow becomes self-aware.
But awareness isn't the end goal here.
According to this, no. Awareness is maybe a tool, a necessary step towards the real goal. And that goal is conducting, stabilizing the bigger loops.
That's quite a leap, seeing ourselves potentially as cosmic stabilizers. But, look at the universe. The dangers the source points out are immense. We're on this little rock circling a star that's going to die eventually. Our whole galaxy is on a collision course with Andromeda.
Right. And there are black holes eating information, stars exploding. Chaos seems to be everywhere.
So the stakes are unbelievably high. The source basically says if we don't learn to influence motion on these huge scales, well, we're toast. Eventually.
It's a long-term threat, for sure. And it's not necessarily just about us. The theory implies some form of intelligence might be needed to keep the cosmic rhythm going.
And that someone could be us. Or others out there.
Potentially. It raises that possibility. But the responsibility or the potential falls on any intelligence that reaches a certain point.
Okay, so if this is the mission, taking over the rhythm, what does that actually look like? Practically speaking, it sounds huge.
It is huge. And the source breaks it down into 4 key capabilities we'd need to develop, or rather, any conducting intelligence would need. First up is detection. We need sensors far beyond anything we have now, things that can map structured motion patterns across light years.
Like gravitational wave detectors on steroids.
Exactly that phrase, yeah. Seeing the wobbles, the rhythms across vast distances.
Okay, what's next?
Prediction. But not just predicting when something happens in time, it's motion resolution modeling,
What do you mean?
meaning understanding how a system's motion is changing, knowing when a star is getting unstable based on its loop behavior, not just its age, predicting disruptions before they cascade.
Got it. So see the patterns, predict the instabilities, then what?
Intervention. This is where it gets really sci-fi sounding. Developing ways to inject or withdraw rhythmic energy without breaking the system.
Like cosmic nudges. The source calls them defibrillators for reality.
Yeah, that's the metaphor used. Gentle adjustments to prevent catastrophic breakdowns.
In the final level.
That's conduction, the highest level. This is about actually rewriting the motion of entire systems, gently rephasing galactic-scale loops, basically actively guiding the rhythm.
Wow. And where are we now on that scale?
The source is pretty blunt. It says we're currently at level 0.1. Barely started.
So we have a long way to go.
A very long way. But the source argues just recognizing this as the potential game.
Yeah.
That's the critical first step.
It connects back to that core idea about intelligence, doesn't it? These capabilities.
Yeah,
They are about understanding and manipulating motion patterns.
precisely. It ties it all together. Intelligence isn't an accident. It's maybe an emergent property of structured motion reaching a critical complexity.
The universe getting complicated enough to start regulating itself.
Kinda, yeah. The source sums it up neatly. The universe gets unstable. Motion self-organizes into intelligence. Intelligence learns to keep the rhythm going.
So intelligence is the universe growing its own stabilizer.
That's a great way to put it.
And we could be the circuit breakers of the cosmos. If, and it's a big if, we learn the rhythm.
That if is everything, isn't it? And this leads to maybe the most provocative line in the whole thing.
That survival is just a side quest.
Exactly. It sounds dismissive, but the point isn't that survival isn't important. You have to survive to do anything else, obviously.
It's necessary but not sufficient.
Right. It's not the ultimate mission. The real test for us, or any intelligence according to this theory, is can you reshape chaos into structure without causing collapse?
So it's not just about understanding the universe with equations.
No, it's about acting within it. It frames this as the true theory of everything, not just math, but the practical ability to preserve motion coherence across scale, taking action to keep the cosmic dance going.
Okay. Stepping back, what does this mean for how we see ourselves right now? Just a lot to take in.
It is. The source uses that powerful metaphor. You mentioned it earlier.
The universe is already playing a symphony,
Yeah.
but no one's holding the baton.
Yeah. And all those chaotic events, the supernovae that collapses, the radiation bursts.
That's the sound of motion losing its place in the rhythm, like cosmic missed notes.
That's the idea. And the call to action that follows is, well, it's pretty direct.
We're not here to run from that. We're here to step up and guide the next bar. It changes everything if you take it seriously, from passive observer to potential conductor.
And the conclusion drawn from this is quite profound. It says the universe doesn't actively want you dead. It just doesn't care if you can't keep up. If you can't handle the rhythm, you get swept away by the chaos.
But if we learn to see the motion, develop the tools, figure out how to balance things,
then maybe we become more than just a species.
we could become, as it says, the stabilizers of existence.
It's a grand vision, no doubt.
Which brings us back to that powerful closing line from the source.
We're not here to survive the universe.
We're here to take over its rhythm.
So maybe the thought to leave you with is this. What does it do to your understanding of purpose, of evolution, if our deepest drive isn't just self-preservation? What if there's this underlying cosmic responsibility, a potential role to bring order from chaos? What if we're meant to transform from just watching the universe to actively shaping its future, becoming architects, not just tenants? Something to think about.